Clever Juan and Envious Diego. There were once two brothers named Diego and Juan. Their father had died a long time before, so they lived only with their good mother. In character, these two brothers were very different. Diego, the older, was envious and foolish. Juan was clever. One morning, while Diego was away, Juan called his mother and said,
"Mother, help me fool Diego. Please lie down as if you were dead, and when he arrives, I will blow air through your nose through a bamboo tube. As soon as you feel me blowing, get up and try to look like a woman that has risen from the dead."
His mother agreed to do all that she had been told. Then Juan watched and waited for Diego. When he saw him coming, he called to his mother and told her to lie down. Then he pretended to be crying. When Diego came in and saw his brother, he said,
"Juan, why are you crying? Don't you see? Our mother is dead,"
said Juan. Then Diego felt very sorry, and he too began to weep. Juan then said,
"Oh brother, I remember that I have a magic instrument that resuscitates dead persons."
He opened his trunk and took out a short bamboo tube and began to blow through it into his mother's nose. His mother then pretended to revive, as she had been told. Diego rejoiced. He too was very much surprised at his brother's possession.
The next day, the envious Diego stole the bamboo tube and went to the churchyard. There he waited for a funeral to pass by. After a short time, the funeral procession of a small boy came along. Diego stopped it and called the mother of the boy. "Don't cry. Your son is only sleeping. Lay him down here and you will soon see that he is alive." The mother then ordered the carriers to lay the coffin on the ground. Diego took out his bamboo tube, and after he had opened the coffin, he began to blow air in the boy's nose. But the boy did not move. He blew harder and harder, but the boy remained as stiff and lifeless as ever. Then the mother of the dead boy became angry. She kicked Diego and said, "You are only trying to fool us." Diego was very much ashamed, so he threw away the bamboo tube and ran home.
Some days later, the mother of Juan and Diego became ill and died. She left her sons 2 carabaos for an inheritance. As Diego was the older, he took the fat carabao for himself and gave the thin one to Juan. Juan was angry, so he killed his carabao and decided to sell the hide. He tried to sell it in the neighboring villages, but he could not find a buyer. He then walked on and on until he came to a forest. Not very far off, and coming towards him, he saw a band of Tulisens. They were on a horseback and had a large amount of treasure with them. Juan was afraid, so he climbed a tree and hid himself with his hide among the branches and leaves. He had no more than concealed himself when the Tulisens came up and stopped to eat under that very tree. Juan watched them closely. He unintentionally moved the hide which was on the branch beside him, and it fell crashing down on the Tulisens. Frightened by this most unexpected noise, they ran away as fast as they could. Not stopping to take anything with them, Juan descended quickly, mounted a horse, and made off with as much as he could carry. When he reached home, his brother said to him, "Where did you get all those riches?" Juan replied that he had been given them by the neighboring villages in return for his carabao hide. Again, Diego envied his brother. He went out and killed his fat carabao and dried its hide. Next, he went to the neighboring villages and tried to sell it. But many days passed, and still no one would buy. Now Diego was very angry. He took a wooden box and put his brother inside. He bound the box and carried it to the seashore. He was about to throw it into the water when he remembered that it was not locked. So he left it and went back to the house to get the key. Meanwhile, a Chinese peddler selling gold rings came along. Juan heard him and shouted, "Chino, Chino, come and see these beautiful and precious things inside." The Chinaman approached and opened the box. Juan came out and said, "I will put you inside and you will see many beautiful things in the bottom." The Chinaman was willing So Juan put him and closed the box. He then took the Chino's gold rings and ran away. Not many minutes later, Diego came up and after locking the box, he threw it into the ocean. That same day, while Diego was eating his dinner, Juan came along with some fine gold rings. Diego was astonished to see his brother and said, "How did you manage to get out of the box? And where did you get those rings?" Juan answered that he sank to the bottom of the ocean, where he saw his mother and that she had given him all those rings. The foolish Diego believed everything that Juan told him. So he asked his brother to put him into box and throw him into the ocean. Juan lost no time in obeying. He got a box, put Diego inside, took it to the seashore, and there cast it into the deep water. After that, Juan lived happily for many years.